opening one up in New York. And he has asked me to create the music for this based upon my recording Chakra Chants, which he just loves, and it basically, Chakra Chants is this award-winning recording that, resonates with different energy centers of the body, the chakras, and he wants me, and it's been in the back of my mind for the last 2 years, so it's just no surprise that the universe should really manifest this as an opportunity. He wants me to basically create chakra dance music for younger people.
Well, isn't that exciting? Because in our society we have, I don't know, a whole menu of select what you vibrate to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about time that you can have an interesting environment as a dance club and do it in a much more positive and life-enhancing way. It's a great idea.
It is, and it's doing very well in Dublin. He's been given the call to basically open 7 of these up throughout the world. The next one's going to be in New York. And it's just very, very interesting because from my perspective, for the last couple of years, I've had the, somewhere in the back of my psyche is the word spiritually uplifting dance music for young people, for want of a better term, and not that I'm an old person or whatnot, but for kids, for people my son's age.
Yeah. What do you think of the raves then that the kids were attending that also have the element of drug use?
Well, this is actually going to be created for raves and for the nightclub type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality base is that if you know enough about sound, which I like to believe that I do, which is to be able to combine both the spiritual, working with mantras, sacred vowel sounds, and all sorts of other sonic modalities that were considered sacred, and you combine this with the science of psychoacoustics, understanding how sound can affect heartbeat, respiration, brain waves, all sorts of other things, and combine them, then you can actually induce deep, deep, deep altered states that are powerful, mm-hmm. that do not utilize drugs, mm-hmm. that are basically, if you like, chemical-free and are beneficial for humans.
It'd be interesting because you've got a space to work with a dance club, and I believe that in the future, when vibrational medicine gets on board in a big way, and we have scientifically validated and experientially validated the use of sound and color and all of the rest of what we can input into our senses to alter our brain states, I think that you'll have walls and you'll have imagery and you'll have just all of the
It's actually happening at this dance club for this thing. He's doing that. He's combining all of those things. Imagery, he showed me the plans, and there are these actual, on the walls, it's going to be related to the different colors, and he's going to have aromatherapy at the same time that the dance music's going on.
And iconography is an element, symbology.
Yep, that too, man.
And all of it.
And
then you can serve drinks that, would be activating certain elements of the brain, that's all these nutrients for the brain. You can serve that instead of alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so interesting. But, Laura Lee, you definitely hit what this fellow has planned, which is not something, I think, that a lot of us haven't thought of at some point, but he's actually manifesting it. What a great idea. And it's
obviously remained in the what a great idea stage, but here's somebody that actually is manifesting it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked with someone who was saying that color can actually calm the nerves of even hardened criminals, and so they should be painting the cells of their gel cells bubblegum pink because this is the most calming color.
Well,
you don't go in gels and see bubblegum pink anywhere, do you?
No, you don't. It's interesting. Bubblegum pink. I've heard different things about different,
It's a girly color,
Well, no. It's just that bubblegum pink initially calms and then and sedates, but then over an extended period of time will begin to fry nerves.
Annoy.
But I don't know if you've gotten into taking color baths.
Color baths?
Yeah,
no.
there's this company that puts out these different color things, and you pour a little capsule in your bathtub, and it's incredible. I love it. So I sit there and I listen to my music while I'm taking, if I want to, I took a blue bath right before this conversation because, of course, blue is one of the communication or expressive chakra. And
but I would be afraid of food coloring and dyes. I wouldn't want to ingest them, and I wouldn't want them absorbed through my skin. So are they using natural sources for the colors? Yeah,
this is a very good company, and I forget the name, but they're produced by people that I really trust.
Yeah.
I've been using
I'll
it for a
tell you
while.
a good story I read in some really old book somewhere. It said that Leonardo da Vinci, when he wanted to go get away from everything and muse quietly, he found a particular church near where he lived, and he would sit, when it was empty, in the pew that was receiving the light of purple from the sunlight shining through that particular section of the stained glass window. So he would bathe himself in purple rays. I want to ask you, how has the whole field of sound healing changed and grown over the last 20 years? Because you think 20 years ago, people would react to sound healing as we would to water. Oh, water's everywhere. What's the big deal? It's, just everywhere. Now we realize water's a precious commodity and all the good it does our body and the planet and this element of life. We knew that, but now we're really becoming cognizant of it because clean water sources are running out. It seems to me similar. People go, sound's everywhere. Sounds the vibration going through the air, going through the water. I mean, sound surrounds us. What's the big deal? But to think of it as used for healing and all the specifics, how the ancient used it, how we can use it today, how it's being scientifically validated, the influence it has on us. I mean, this field has grown so much in 20 years.
It has, but I'll tell you something very interesting. After I had that revelation, I wonder if music can make us feel better, and then, I wonder if sound could be used as a healing modality. I ended up taking a workshop about a week later that somebody called me and said, never guess somebody's doing a workshop in healing with light and sound. And actually it was a few people who have become friends of mine, in particular one woman by the name of Sarah Benson, who teaches with us at our Healing Sounds Intensive, and is an extraordinary, I like to say she's the embodiment of the Divine Mother through light and love, but she's just an incredible being. And I took this workshop from her, and I had this huge waking up experience, and shortly after that, I said, well, I want to actually, sort of form this organization and have monthly meetings. So from February of like 1983 upwards to about the year somewhere around 1989, for about 6 or 7 years, we had monthly meetings, and we had scientists, spiritual healers, musicians, psychics come and freely give of their time and energy. Well, and with regard to the waveform phenomena, so all these, if you like, plants, etc., have not only their own vibratory rate, but speaking shamanically, there is a spirit, there is an essence, there is an entity that is involved with all of these different things.
And a form of grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can, working with sound, and see, when I perceive of sound, I think everything is sound, not just that which falls within our audible bandwidth, which is like 16 cycles per second, about 16,000, but just everything is sound, including light, color, everything. That's my word for it.
Frequency.
Yeah, frequency, vibration. And, I mean, this is, from my perspective, why one of the reasons why mantras will work is the fact that a mantra is, if you like, a sonic mathematical formula that allows you to become a tuning fork that allows these sacred divine entities to basically come in and resonate with you. And it's quite a remarkable thing. Back a long time ago when I was just beginning to discover this, sometimes people would invite me to go to different spiritual and magical groups and sort of observe. And
well, that's interesting. So you see what they're using, even though they may not know it's part of or recognize it as part of their ritual or practice, but you're saying, you're invoking these elements of sound and frequency and vibration.
Right, but what was very interesting is that I would then halfway through start asking questions to the speaker or whatnot, and then later on the people in the group would go, how, you can't know that, because the questions were totally right on. The guys, yes, and then the people who invited me or whatnot would get a little resentful because I wasn't a high-up initiate in the order, and yet I had known things, but the reality was that I was able to track the sound as it was being chanted or whatnot and get into the source of the sound, which then, if you like, the waveform phenomena, which then held the information. And so it was...
Which would demonstrate that their sounds were working to tune you into a specific body of information or waveform or specific informational chord.
So it's very, very interesting. And this idea of, frequency plus intent, vocalization plus visualization, it's found in practically every spiritual, magical, shamanic tradition on the planet, where at some point they're going to be saying some words, and they're going to be putting some energy into the words. In fact, get this, abracadabra.
Yeah.
Is, I believe, ancient Aramaic. It might be Hebrew. I think it's Aramaic, and it means, I will create as I make sound.
Oh, interesting.
And then, therefore, may be an example of a word that got, if you like, disempowered by overuse.
Oh, that can happen, like the word love, overuse.
And yet at the same time, so therefore, then you encounter people who say, well, you mustn't give this out because this is a secret mantra, and if you give it out, you will, just...
dissipate its effect.
Right, and my thoughts at this point are that at this point we don't have that much time.
I agree. Our margin of error is spinning fast.